Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, which focuses on Vedic Astrology study from the perspective of your soul path, career, and relationships. These are the focus areas of this channel. If you're new to my channel, please consider sharing the content with your fellow astrology enthusiasts, leaving your comments below in case you need to share anything interesting you found in your chart, etc. If you are my listener on the podcast directories like Spotify, Apple, Podcast Addict, Pandora, and so on, welcome. Also, you might want to visit my YouTube channel, take screenshots of the chart displayed there so you can study alongside the chart, Natal, Navamsha, D10, and so on and so forth. Also, for those listening on the podcast directory, you might want to take advantage of the Vedic Astrology Beginners course, which is available in the memberships area as a playlist on my channel. YouTube link is in the description box. You might want to visit that and take advantage of that. That is not being covered on the podcast directory. If you need a personal reading, do get in touch with me on the email, both on the podcast directory as well as on YouTube channel, and we can explore what's going on in your life and what you need some assistance or clarity with. You see, the entire purpose, as I see it, of Jyotish and Vedic Astrology is to get clarity in your mind about what's going on in different areas of your life, what your soul path is driving you towards in this lifetime, and where you can apply yourself to the best possible outcomes. Be it in any area of life, we all have different areas of life. Primarily, I focus on soul path, your life path, profession, career, job, business, etc., as well as intimate relationships. And all the podcasts here cover pretty much personality, relationships, and career as the determinants of how you want to engage with the rest of the world. We all are born in some way, some form in different societies. The whole idea is to best put yourself at use where you are happy doing what you're doing, you're content doing what you're doing, and you feel your life has a meaning and a purpose somewhere. We are just trying to unlock that using the tools of Vedic Astrology. Now that we have finished studying the Amatyakaraka in different Navamsha, the 12 of them, let us do some career case studies for Amatyakaraka, because unless we do some case studies, unless we implement and study the Amatyakaraka from the perspective of charts, actual charts or virtual charts, we won't know how it is applied or what it really means, isn't it? It's like trying to understand physics without applying it in a lab. You have to test this out on charts. So as much charts as you can get your hands on, practice these principles. If you have queries, you can leave it as comments in the comment box. But please take time to understand these principles first. All the series on Amatyakaraka and in Navamsha playlist uncover all of that first. Study the basic principles and then come to this career case studies. Right, let's get into it. What are the 6 principles or 6 aspects I have taken into consideration in career case studies of Amatyakaraka? Number 1, we are going to study Amatyakaraka in D1 and D9 charts both. That is to say, your natal as well as your Navamsha chart. We shall study how the position of Amatyakaraka goes. Number 2, we shall study the relations to the Atmakaraka in both, your soul significator, yourself, Atmakaraka. And podcasts are already covered on Atmakaraka. You might want to go through that. What is your soul relationship with your profession? Is it helping? Is there someone helping in your profession? Atmakaraka and Amatyakaraka relationship in both D1 and D9 also we shall cover. Number 3, the placement in houses and signs in both natal as well as Navamsha charts. That will also be covered, because where the houses are playing in the natal and where it moves to in Navamsha is significant, isn't it? And also the sign, because the qualities of the sign carries to both Atmakaraka and Amatyakaraka. Number 4, types, progress, challenges, and successes in career, because we are focusing in these career case studies only. So We will deal with focal point as Amatyakaraka, and we will study Atmakaraka with respect to Amatyakaraka. Alright. Number 5, we will also try to borrow some hints from nakshatra placement of Amatyakaraka in the natal chart, because that's the physical manifestation. Yes, I already spoke of this. You might want to go through previous ones. Natal chart is your physical manifestation of reality. Navamsha is your internal self and all things going forward in your life. Essentially, when a soul is born, the way we apply Vedic astrology is from birth till the time you're 30 years old, till the time Saturn matures in a chart. What happens is you're acting more like only the physical manifestation, because you are pretty much in the hands of others. After 30 years, really it matures, and then the aspects of Navamsha kick in. So Navamsha literally is going forward in your life, the fortunes of your life. Yeah, this is the way also it is interpreted. So we shall try to borrow some nakshatra placement of Amatyakaraka in the natal chart also. Now, nakshatras are already covered extensively in the 27 nakshatras of Vedic Astrology playlist. Number 6, and very important point, I needed some charts to study here as a part of this exercise. And so what I have done is I have considered case studies. This entire case studies is for Gen Z, just like I did for Nakshatra Pada. Gen Z meaning 1998 onwards, who are born from 1998 onwards. Yes, you can Google it if you want. All case studies are of Gen Z kids. Names are all virtual, really. I have just stuck in virtual names. Names don't mean anything. They are random charts of Gen Z generation, starting from the year 2000 for Amatyakaraka. Let us begin. Before we begin the actual case studies, it is important for you to remember some rules in the Jaimini system of evaluation in astrology, which is very different to the Parashara system. Jaimini, first of all, focuses on Rashi Drishti. That means the sign aspects. Which sign is aspecting which sign? Aries is aspecting Leo, for example, like that. The sign aspects, these are not planetary aspects, which sign aspects it. So let's go through these 8 rules listed there on the screen. Number 1, Rashi Drishti. Every movable sign aspects all fixed signs except the one right next to it. Keep this rule book in your thing. You can take screenshots if you wish. Every fixed sign aspects all movable signs except the one right next to it. So, movable aspects fixed except the one next to it. Fixed aspects all movable except the one next to it. Every dual sign aspects all other dual signs only. Okay. Then there is the Graha Drishti, that is a planetary vision. The planetary vision says Jaimini primarily uses Rashi Drishti, but planets inherit the aspect of the sign they sit in. So planets sitting in movable sign will aspect all other planets which are in fixed signs except the one next to it. Apply the same principle to all the first three rules. So planets essentially sitting in movable, fixed or dual sign, because Jaimini is based only on sign astrology, not so much on planets. Planets will automatically inherit everything about the sign. This applies to all planets including Rahu and Ketu. So as we shall see going further into the case studies, you will see that sometimes or many times in a chart, Rahu and Ketu both end up aspecting a particular planet. Because even though Rahu and Ketu are on opposite sides of every chart, but based on this kind of an analysis, based on Rashi Drishti, they both might end up aspecting a planet, and we shall see that in case studies. Some special considerations to see. Point number 6, Jaimini focuses on sign to sign influence, not degrees. Even if planets are far apart within the Rashi, they still aspect through Rashi Drishti. The same thing which I spoke of earlier. The only thing angles or degrees is considered is from Atmakaraka to Dharakaraka. The 7 Karakas is based on angle. what is your Atmakaraka, what is your Amatyakaraka, what is your Bhratrikarika, and so on. That considers the angle. But the sign to sign influence is very dominant here. Even if one is sitting in 12th house and one is sitting in 3rd house, for example, if the signs are influencing, the planets in those signs also are influencing one another. See, all this gets very complex unless we do some case studies, isn't it? So we shall do that from now on. 7th point, unlike the Parashari system, Jaimini does not use special aspects like Saturn's 3rd or 10th position or Jupiter's 5th or 9th position. Those are Parashara rules. Jaimini system does not use these rules of aspecting. It only considers sign aspect and planets therefore placed in those signs. Aspects, last rule, number 8, aspects are applied heavily in Charadasha analysis. If you want to do your predictive analysis, they interpret again based on this sign and interpreting the Karaka planets, Amatyakaraka, Atmakaraka, and so on. All the 7 Karakas of Jaimini. So we shall do analysis this way going forward. Let us begin. Let us do the career case study for Jane, another virtual subject of ours. We are using the Amatyakaraka as the basis. So there at the bottom of the screen you have Atmakaraka as Sun and Amatyakaraka as Venus. Yes? And both are conjunct in her natal chart. We are doing first natal chart, then we'll move on to Navamsha and then conclusions. Natal chart has ascendant in Gemini, Venus and Sun, Atmakaraka and Amatyakaraka together in the sign of Virgo. Now, that means to say her soul path and her career path are quite aligned and will show up that way in life. When Amatyakaraka and Atmakaraka are conjoined in a chart in any house, it shows a strong dominance of soul's desires being fulfilled. The path is quite aligned, you might say. That doesn't mean to say there won't be any challenges. We tend to misunderstand such things. So let me clarify. Venus and Sun together shows something to do with creativity, something to do with wealth management, finance, all things Venus. Let us see the generalities there on the right side of the screen. Venus as Amatyakaraka brings refinement, creativity, something to do with wealth, career in wealth, finance management, harmony, relationship skills into the career. So those career paths will be determined by those aspects of Venus. That's the first thing you got to remember. Amatyakaraka, whatever planet is sitting, you have to take that planet attributes into the career path. There will certainly be that. Doesn't matter which form of analysis you use. So as Amatyakaraka, it directs Jane towards professions, blending aesthetics, diplomacy and financial acumen. Since this is the sign of Virgo it is sitting in, it requires diligent, detailed work. She needs to work on whatever her skill set is. Career orientation may be towards arts, design, fashion, finance, counseling, luxury industries, teaching or diplomacy. It is taking all the aspects of Libra also here. Attitude in work would be they are charming, refined, socially aware, strong creative instincts with the ability to lead through balance and harmony. So let's do some D1 chart analysis here. Placement is in Virgo in the 4th house, something to do with masses. Career ties strongly tied to education, public life, property and emotional satisfaction. Venus in this house highlights professions in real estate. Could be because Virgo is an earth sign. Interior design, definitely because it's a home front. Interior design work. It's bringing artistic talents into the home front, isn't it? 4th house, Virgo, Venus as Amatyakaraka. Community service also, okay, we might take that also into consideration. Sign influence Virgo brings in analysis, precision and service. Virgo always tends to give a detailed kind of mindset, go into the minute details of it, the nitty-gritty of it. Venus here becomes quite practical, detail oriented, and even financial careers, because Venus is related to finance and wealth management. Conjunction with Atmakaraka, strong alignment of soul, purpose, and profession. Sun and Venus. Always look at it this way. Always look at Amatyakaraka and Atmakaraka in relationship to one another. Blends authority with creativity. Obviously, Sun is the soul. There might be ego attached to it. Their ego might feel hurt if their profession is not shining. Suitable for leadership in arts, education, finance, or other institutions. When you see institution, you got to see Saturn and you got to see Jupiter. Just for a minute, let's take a diverse there. Jupiter is conjunct Ketu in the 9th house. And Jupiter is retrograde. So what happens when Jupiter retrograde? First of all, there's a tendency to show off too much knowledge. Conjunct with Ketu, she brings in a lot of wisdom from past lives. Also, it is aspecting the 5th house here, right, in the 9th, where Mercury is sitting. And Mercury is a Pitrukaraka. So there is already a relationship in regards to whatever she brings in from past life, follow me here, into her Venus profession. Whatever her Venusian related professions may be, she will bring some element of past life and ancestral energy as a play into that. And she will refine it through life. How she will move forward? Now let us see the Navamsha part of it. Now within the Navamsha chart, as you can see there, Venus has now moved to the 5th house and the ascendant has moved to Aries. If you remember my series from Atmakaraka or Navamsha chart and various signs, you see, look up the Aries Navamsha video of mine. So Aries has got a drive of initiating everything. So there's a very restless energy as she grows older. She needs to initiate stuff. Aries is a non-stop initiator. So this lady becomes an initiator of sorts later in life. Venus has gone to the 5th house in Leo. So there is a dominant energy of wanting to teach creativity to children. Maybe an arts teacher for kids, could be. Education, because 5th house stands for education. Yes, so let's go through the placements once again. In D9, placement of Venus is in Leo in the 5th. 5th house emphasizes creativity, intellect, education, even children, and leadership in professional life. So Venus going to 5th house as an Amatyakaraka in the Navamsha indicates she might be a teacher of fine arts. She might be teacher in educational fields. She might be teacher in all kinds of creative arts. Okay, let us see later on what that refinement brings. Venus here points to careers in creative entrepreneurship, teaching, entertainment, and speculative finance. 5th house is also the sign of speculation, stock market. Sign influence. Leo adds authority, charisma, and visibility. So first of all, she will get recognition in terms of her presence in the arts fields. How and why is a different thing, and she might want to initiate new forms also, since she is an Aries ascendant. Let's look at some of the parts to get some clarity. We saw Jupiter with Ketu in the natal. Now in Navamsha, Jupiter has moved with Rahu in Taurus in the 2nd house. What happens when such a combination is there? There is an over-obsession with gaining wealth, accumulation of resources. A lot of money obsession happens to her later on in life. She'll get obsessed with money. Jupiter plus Rahu in Taurus in the 2nd house. For Aries Navamsha, first of all, Aries thinks of itself as very poor, and therefore Jupiter combined with Rahu in the 2nd house creates this over-obsessiveness with wealth accumulation. So that aspect is certainly playing out there. She needs to take care of this, okay? She may succeed in her career path as a teacher of arts, but it has to be slow, it has to be gradual, and it has to align with the natal. Now let's conclude these parts and then see what comes up. Let us see the correlational aspects. This is the conclusions. Natal Navamsha charts are there and there is a conclusion. Let's go through one by one. In natal D1 chart, career is tied to education, property, refinement, community service, influenced by sun's leadership because Atmakaraka is there. Navamsha D9, career involves creative leadership, education, speculative finance or artistic entrepreneurship. We got to drill down. We are drilling down now. Combined view, Jane begins with education or community linked work, matures into high visibility leadership roles in creative fields, art fields, finance or artistic fields. Challenges, Venus in Virgo can create overcritical tendencies in creative as well as relationship matters. Look, Venus in the 5th house in Navamsha, she will get a very dominating spouse. That's another aspect. Conjunction with Sun in the natal, potential conflict between ego-driven authority and harmony-seeking diplomacy. See, Venus is exalted typically in Libra in the 7th house. Sun is exalted in the 1st house. So it's sort of opposite energies. Okay? So there's a conflict going on. Venus wants to give to others. Sun wants to shine for itself. The 4th house influence, the career may manifest in local community very strongly. Okay, there isn't any Rahu aspect to this, therefore the foreign element is missing, so it's more of local community related careers. Professional satisfaction closely tied to emotional fulfillment. Success indicators, Venus as Amatyakaraka ensures creativity and refinement and remains central to the profession. Something will be creative in her career path. So what could be the career paths? Likely professions are creative industries like arts, fashion, design and luxury branding, like we saw even interior decoration because we are talking about the 4th house there in the natal. That's how it will manifest. Real estate, interior design or education based work, finance, wealth management, speculative ventures. I won't say the last so much, not diplomacy, public relations. Why? Because Sun is the Atmakaraka. Sun requires soul recognition. You might call it ego, but it requires see me. You have to look at the Sun. Trajectory is mentioned, early education, property, service link careers. Growth later, she might go into teaching line. Later on in life, like a consultant. 5th house is also the house of consultants. You're teaching some company or some institution something. So Venus with Sun as Atmakaraka, Amatyakaraka will lead to such results. I'll see you in the next. Leave your comments if you find something interesting here. Take care, be safe.